In essence, forgiveness is a gift that we give ourselves, allowing us to release the hold that resentment and anger have on us. However, offering a second chance should never be automatic. It should be contingent on seeing real growth and accountability. Forgiveness without change can result in repeated harm and emotional exhaustion. And it can lead to feelings of disappointment and disillusionment. People can grow and learn from their mistakes, but only if they are committed to making lasting changes. Therefore, a second chance should be earned through consistent efforts at self-improvement, making it clear that the person has genuinely changed and is capable of treating us with the respect and care we deserve. Only then can a second chance be considered a true opportunity for healing and rebuilding a relationship. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. We are here to discuss a concept that challenges our natural inclinations, the idea of not giving people a second chance. In a world where forgiveness is often seen as the ultimate virtue and second chances are given freely, it's essential to consider the impact of this decision on our lives, our mental health, and our growth. At the core of giving someone a second chance is the idea that they have acknowledged their actions and shown genuine remorse for the harm they caused. Accountability is crucial. Without the individual taking responsibility for their actions and understanding the gravity of the betrayal, the very idea of a second chance becomes a risky proposition. A second chance should not be about simply offering forgiveness in the hope that things will improve. It should be rooted in a tangible demonstration that the person is aware of their mistake, understands its impact, and is committed to changing their behavior moving forward. Without this level of accountability, a second chance is not earned, it is a mere indulgence of hope. Offering a second chance to someone who has not fully recognized or taken responsibility for their actions can send the message that their behavior is acceptable, or worse, that the harm they caused is inconsequential. This can undermine the trust even further, leading to feelings of disillusionment, resentment, and emotional exhaustion. It also sets a dangerous precedent, as the individual may not feel compelled to change their actions, knowing that their past mistakes have been forgiven without consequence. Furthermore, when trust is broken, the ability to rebuild it depends heavily on the other person's actions and consistency over time. Trust is not restored simply through an apology or a promise to change. It requires proof that the individual is willing to put in the work necessary to regain that trust. This may include making amends, demonstrating patience, being transparent, and showing ongoing effort to prevent the behavior from occurring again. Without this consistent effort, it becomes increasingly difficult to believe that the individual has truly changed or that they deserve another chance. In relationships, we often find ourselves torn between the desire to forgive and the need to protect ourselves from further harm. It's important to recognize that offering a second chance should never come at the cost of your emotional well-being or safety. The decision to trust again is not one that should be taken lightly. It's essential to consider whether the individual has done the necessary work to change and if they have shown that they are trustworthy enough to be let back into your life. Trust is precious, and once it is broken, it is not something that can be casually restored without significant effort and proof of change. In many cases, it may be healthier to recognize that some betrayals are too great to overcome, and that walking away is the only way to preserve your own emotional integrity. Our personal sense of self-worth is intricately connected to the boundaries we set with others. Boundaries are not just limits we place on others to protect our physical space or privacy, they are the emotional and psychological lines we draw to safeguard our mental health and well-being. Boundaries are an essential part of maintaining our sense of dignity and self-respect. When we fail to set or enforce these boundaries, or when we allow others to cross them without consequence, we are essentially allowing our self-worth to be diminished. Every individual deserves to be treated with respect, kindness, and consideration. Setting boundaries is a way of communicating that we value ourselves enough to protect our emotional and mental health. These boundaries can manifest in many forms, whether it's saying no to unreasonable demands, asserting our right to be heard in conversations, or distancing ourselves from individuals who have caused us harm. When we allow people into our lives who consistently overstep these boundaries or treat us in ways that make us feel small, unimportant, or disrespected, we are indirectly telling ourselves that we are not worthy of better treatment. One of the most crucial aspects of boundaries is that they are not meant to punish others, but to preserve our own emotional well-being. They are an expression of self-respect. a way of protecting ourselves from being repeatedly hurt or taken advantage of. When someone betrays our trust or violates our boundaries, it is a sign that they are not treating us with the respect we deserve. Allowing them a second chance without them demonstrating that they understand the harm they have caused is not only an act of self-neglect, but it is also an unhealthy way of lowering our standards for how we deserve to be treated. When we repeatedly allow people who have hurt us to come back into our lives without change, we risk reinforcing the message that their behavior is acceptable. This not only harms our sense of self-worth, but also diminishes our ability to set healthy boundaries in the future. Over time, we can become conditioned to tolerating disrespect, mistreatment, or emotional manipulation. Each time we allow someone to cross our boundaries without consequences, we teach them that they can get away with it, and we reinforce the idea that we do not deserve better treatment. This cycle can lead to feelings of powerlessness and resentment as we begin to feel trapped in a relationship dynamic where our needs are not being met and our emotional safety is compromised. Setting and enforcing boundaries is not easy, particularly when we care deeply about someone or when we fear that asserting ourselves might lead to conflict or rejection. However, true self-respect requires us to prioritize our well-being and emotional health. We must recognize that allowing someone to repeatedly cross our boundaries is not an act of kindness, it is an act of self-sabotage. When we put others' comfort ahead of our own, we risk losing touch with our sense of self and allowing our emotional health to deteriorate. Furthermore, when we set boundaries, we also teach others how to treat us. By consistently enforcing boundaries and not tolerating behavior that disrespects them, we demonstrate that we value ourselves and expect others to do the same. This is not about being rigid or inflexible. It is about creating a healthy dynamic where both parties can express their needs and respect each other's limits. A person who genuinely cares about us will understand our need for boundaries and will make the effort to respect them. In essence, boundaries are an expression of our worthiness. They protect our emotional energy and ensure that we are engaging in relationships that are nurturing and supportive. Without boundaries, we risk losing ourselves in the process of trying to accommodate others. A second chance, when it comes to those who have harmed us, should only be granted if they acknowledge and respect the boundaries we have set. If they continue to violate those boundaries without remorse or change, we must protect ourselves by recognizing that we deserve better and by walking away. Forgiveness and growth are two powerful concepts that often go hand in hand, but they are distinct in their meaning and impact. While forgiveness is essential for healing, it is crucial to understand that it doesn't always mean that we should continue to tolerate harmful behavior or grant someone a second chance without seeing any genuine change. Forgiveness is primarily an internal process that helps us release the emotional burden of anger, resentment, or hurt. It allows us to free ourselves from the negative emotions that can keep us trapped in the past. However, forgiveness should never be mistaken for accepting mistreatment or failing to set boundaries that protect our emotional health. When someone wrongs us, especially in a way that deeply affects our trust and sense of safety, we often experience a profound sense of hurt and betrayal. These feelings can be overwhelming, and the process of forgiving may seem daunting. Yet, forgiveness is an important step in moving forward. It is about letting go of the grip that the negative emotions have on us so we can regain our peace and well-being. But forgiveness does not mean that we must continue to put ourselves in situations that could lead to further harm, nor does it mean that we should blindly allow someone back into our lives without them demonstrating a true commitment to change. Growth, on the other hand, requires effort, time, and a genuine desire to become better. When someone has hurt us, the opportunity for growth lies not only in their ability to ask for forgiveness, but also in their willingness to prove through consistent actions that they have learned from their mistakes and are making active changes to ensure that the harm doesn't happen again. Growth involves taking responsibility for one's actions, understanding the impact of those actions on others, and making the necessary adjustments in behavior. Without this kind of growth, forgiving someone for their past actions may be in vain, as they are likely to repeat those same harmful behaviors. For a second chance to be truly meaningful, it must be earned through consistent and observable change. Words alone, no matter how heartfelt or apologetic, are not enough to rebuild trust. Change is demonstrated through actions, not promises. If someone has hurt you and they want a second chance, they must show through their behavior that they have learned from the experience and are committed to behaving differently moving forward. This might involve being more open and transparent, showing greater empathy, and being willing to put in the work necessary to restore the trust that was lost. Only when these efforts are consistent over time can we begin to assess whether they are genuinely worthy of another opportunity. Furthermore, true growth requires humility and accountability. Someone who has wronged you must first acknowledge the hurt they caused and fully accept responsibility for their actions. This means recognizing the pain and harm they inflicted and understanding the long-lasting effects of their behavior. Without this acknowledgement, the opportunity for genuine growth is stifled. Growth cannot occur in an environment where there is no acceptance of responsibility, as it would be impossible for the individual to learn from their mistakes or improve their behavior. In essence, forgiveness is a gift that we give ourselves, allowing us to release the hold that resentment and anger have on us. However, offering a second chance should never be automatic. It should be contingent on seeing real growth and accountability. Forgiveness without change can result in repeated harm and emotional exhaustion, and it can lead to feelings of disappointment and disillusionment. People can grow and learn from their mistakes, but only if they are committed to making lasting changes. Therefore, a second chance should be earned through consistent efforts at self-improvement, making it clear that the person has genuinely changed and is capable of treating us with the respect and care we deserve. Only then can a second chance be considered a true opportunity for healing and rebuilding a relationship.